Good morning, everybody.
Hey, Rob.
Morning, Rob.
How's it going?
Good morning.
Good.
So I had some IT issues here. Let me just see if I can share my screen. So today I just wanted to kind of go over some systems, and I will eventually get my tech back here so I can share. But as we go into our business planning and start looking at 2026, it's hard to even say. There's some core systems, and I think a system is something that will deliver predictable success instead of random outcomes and the purposing of our business. And many of us here, it's both a curse and a blessing the way that we found our initial success, which is out of intuition. And I think if we don't build systems, we can't expect predictable outcomes for our team members. And thus, when you aggregate all your team members' production, it may not be consistent with where you expect it to be. So, besides Chief Baker, who has defined systems, and like what are a few of the core pillars before I go into kind of my more expansive systems that I want everybody to consider? Not everybody at once. Maybe Mr. Chopper. You look like you want to say something there, brother.
We half-ass it. We're not as organized as
You half-ass it.
Yeah, at least that's the way I feel. We're not as organized as
Okay.
I'd like to.
How can I help you not half-ass it?
Show me the be Hansel and Gretel. Give me the breadcrumbs.
Okay. Let me just try to want to share.
After we use the same system, the half-ass system on my team.
I
Hey,
mean,
Rob, I have a.
I don't
sorry,
know if
go
this
ahead.
is a system, but we have a high traffic office with floor time. So we expect agents to do regular floor time because it over time and consistently, it will result in leads. We have office meetings and we want them to attend. We have one-on-ones, but we don't force them to do anything. And so if I am seeing that they're not engaged and not participating, then I talk to them. But it's not really a system, but I have a sense of who's engaged and likely to sell some stuff. But I'm interested to hear what the 14 systems are. That's a lot of systems.
Hey, Rob, if I can share a real-time scar that I'm bearing right now from something that changed in my systems. I think it'll be a great learning for folks. You have, Rob? I don't know if anyone can hear me.
We can all hear you.
Oh,
I can
okay.
hear
He
I'm not sure.
disappeared, so go ahead. You got the floor there, Chief.
you. Yeah.
Okay. So back in early summer, the team, I have every other Friday is 15 minutes with each person for an accountability call where they present their business to me. And early summer, everyone said, look, like we want to kind of have fun with the kids over the weekends and things like that. So in June, I eliminated those. July was obviously the remnants of June, right? Because we did up to that point, we had a great July, like the record July. Then the accountability calls did not happen for the month of July and August. In September, I made $400 from the team. So because we took the pedal off the metal with accountability, it's 100% related to that. And I can assure you that I will never make that mistake again, ever. I don't care if people don't show up for the calls, but as the mass, I'll never turn it over to like a group accountability call again. It does not work. And boy, I felt it in September when I burned up $13,000 in cost. So my recommendation is accountability. Hard
That's
lesson learned.
That's an excellent story. I know I was advised early on to have the meetings, have the trainings, do the calls, and if nobody shows up, still have them. Just
Yep.
do it on that consistent, regular basis. And yeah, that's a
So
good story.
it didn't sound like a great story.
Well, I mean, it's a it's a it's a negative
It's a learning
motivational story.
So Glenn, did you say that you had a $400 profit above your cost, or just a $400 revenue?
Revenue, I burned 13,000.
Ouch.
Mhm.
Because if you have no
Well,
deals, you have no anything, right? Nothing else is bringing it in. And I 100%, I know August was slow. It wasn't that slow. It was completely accountability, 100%.
so here's the, I'm going to put this up, and this is going to be no surprise to most of you, and I'm going to share with all of you on this call. That, you know, we're in real estate sales, so if we're not prospecting, like, what are we doing? And that discipline, I think comes from top down, and we need to, be examples, but we do need to do something to prospect for business every single day that we're working. And, Glenn, maybe you've seen this, but were people pretending to be busy and not doing what they're supposed to do, or did you just lose accountability? You're on mute. I think you double clicked
Oh,
it, Glenn.
I
You're
double
still on
muted.
mute.
Sorry. I think that there was nothing, no guiding light, and they did not check their dashboards, and it just went off the rails. I think that they need that discipline. I don't even call it discipline, structure.
And let me ask you this question, if you're answering this honestly, Glenn. Do you think that at least half of them felt that they were really working, but they weren't?
Always, everyone thinks they're doing more in real
Or
estate
you,
than they really are.
yeah. So I think that's one of the tricks, one of the paradoxes in the business. Number two is treat your database like a gold mine. I did some research before the call. Just an organic CRM, okay, in the real estate industry, which is comprised of leads from open houses, old leads, new leads, sphere of influence. It's about 60 to 65% of those leads in your database are homeowners. 60 to 65% are homeowners, and probably 6 to 8% of those are going to be doing a transaction in the next 12 months. So let that sink in. How many leads do you have in your database? Lynn, do you know how many leads are in your database?
Sorry, I'm on my phone, so I have to switch back and forth.
How many leads are in my database? I have probably 20,000 people in the database. I'd say probably 500 of them are actual leads that we could work on.
Where did the other 19,500 come from?
When we've done things like the home shows, spheres of influence, people that have reached out, but
We didn't really do anything with yet.
So if you have 20,000 and 6% do a transaction, and you collect and you capture 1 out of 8 of those, that's 180 transactions. We just take a moment and let that sink in, and then if you use Fellow and you see how much money you're losing, it really painfully resonates. Glenn, is that true?
yeah, I would say that.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. That's the
Reality.
worst thing I do every morning is look at that.
I mean, Glenn, do you have 15% of the transactions that are there that are captured by the team, or is it lower than that?
I'm not sure what you mean by the 15%.
So if there's 30 million last month that did business in your database, are you capturing 4.5 million of that?
Personally, you're saying.
Well, however you measure your fellow.
Oh, so fellow is our leads put into them, active leads put into them. And they don't give
Okay.
a statistic on, I know the millions, I don't know the percentage. So like we've lost $450 million that's in our database this year.
Right. And yeah, at most you did 80 million out of the database, right? So that's a 20%, and some of that was probably not database, so you're probably 15% or less, right?
Probably lower, yeah.
And you know, Glenn has some pretty strong systems to land at 15%. That's an eye opener. And to Glenn's point, that some of them might not be real leads that we should be focusing on in our database. You know, listing leverage, like, you know, we should be, you know, getting a half of a listing to 2 transactions off of every one of our listings between buys and new listings. But it won't happen if you don't have a system, right? What's the system that you have when you launch a new listing? You know, let me just I have Bobby, do you have a system when you launch a new listing? I know you're on without a camera, but are you able to say what you do? And when you get one, are you expecting to get another half a transaction or 2 transactions from that listing?
I can't say that I haven't. I don't know what the word is, but analyze that much. You know, it's what a lot of people do. I get a listing, I send out emails to my sphere, go knock on the door on the street, let people know that I have a new listing, but I can't say that I have it analyzed to that half transaction that you just mentioned.
Have you stayed consistent to the door knocking your new listings over time,
Yes.
or has that been random?
No, I would say
Okay.
I'm consistent.
It's very good. Now, if we could just get to measure that, you know, marketing consistency, accountability, conversion scripts. Have any of you overheard your team talking to clients and cringed? And Bobby, that would count as your agents in your office. Have you ever overheard a conversation and cringed?
Yes.
Lynn, Beth, right? I mean, you've heard cringeworthy conversations, because I've been there where I'm just happen to be there and I overhear a conversation. I'm like, ouch. Yeah, that was that opportunity missed.
Definitely.
And I think, you know, those are coaching opportunities, and you know, those are basically growth opportunities. Time blocking. You know, time blocking. You know, how many agents are in this business because they have independence and freedom, right? And that independence and freedom comes back and bites them in the you know what, because they don't do all the right activities.
One thing that I've seen that really bothers me is, I've seen this a few times. The agents, for the most part, I mean, completely are professional in our office, but a person will walk in and they'll let them walk out without getting their contact information. They'll give them a card. I'm like, you'll never, they've got to, and they're not, they've got to get out of their comfort zone and put that person on the spot and, you know, get a script around getting their contact information. And the script might be, you know, I know you're not ready to buy perhaps right now, but I'd love to just send you some properties in the area so you can get a sense of what the prices are and what you can get for the money or whatever. but that's my number one,
Yeah, but when they come in, usually when we get walk-ins, I sit them down in the conference room with a piece of paper and a pen and ask them a bunch of questions. And I ask for their email. It's not that hard to do. All you have to do is discipline them and tell them this is the procedure. In this way, you follow a procedure, and you get all their information. You get their email address and their phone numbers, and then you start working on what they're looking for. Even if they're not ready, you say, "Well, I'll be in touch with you periodically if you need help with financing or if you need help with." So that's something that we do.
yeah, that's good. I mean, that's good. I think that's a very natural flow, and everyone should do it that way.
So Beth, the low hanging fruit for somebody that walks into the office where they're not getting the contact info would be, hey, if a property that meets your criteria comes on pre-market, would you appreciate me to reach out? What's the best number to reach you? Because everybody wants to have an inside track, right?
Right, that's good. I like that.
Rob, I use Blink cards, and I just say to them, "Hey, let me send you my business card. What's your number?" And no one ever says no. And then I send them my business card, but I've got their number. So I'm not at their mercy to tell me it. I just get it that way. And then all I need is a phone number, and I can get anything else. So I don't worry about emails, the uncomfortableness of not really making a deposit in the bank and then asking them for something yet. I ease into it that way.
That's not bad. Yeah, you can usually get their email if you have their phone number. But you don't want to be creepy. They're like, "How'd you get my email?"
Yeah, what I'll do is 2 days later, I'll be like, "Hey, I saw this awesome listing that matched what you had. Can I shoot it over? Because my system does that via email." And then you kind of have the rapport without the uncomfortableness in person.
Thanks for sharing. But a lot of times, they'll say, "Yeah, can I have your email? Can I have your phone number?" And Lynn Schmitz, when you say, "Can I have it?" What's a glaring answer to that?
Usually it's, I'm not ready to buy anything at
No.
this
Time, I'm not ready to sell. No, thank you. You mean that's their response?
Right. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
easy. But it's easy to say no, right? Can I have your phone number? If I say, "Lynn, what's the best number to reach you at?" It doesn't really imply that there's an answer of no.
Right.
If that makes any
Presentation.
sense.
Sure does.
Right.
I do the Blink thing like
Um,
Glenn does. Because you can find
The rest of it on anywhere nowadays.
Referral systems, like even this group here is a great way to start to build some referrals, build referrals within your client base, build referrals within the network. Listing appointment skills. I think that's something that always has to be evolving and improving, right? Is anybody constantly making revisions to their content for their listing pitch or their appointment? Or are you using something that you used in 1999?
Pretty much once a month, I update it in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. I would encourage everybody to keep the content evolving and always supplement it with some new content, because what's your Glenn, what's your listing appointment to sign up rate for your team, if you know that?
Just for listings, we're at about 95%. So if we meet them, we're closing them.
Okay. And Lynn Schmitz, what would you say yours is, or Beth, for your office or your team?
probably at 90%.
Yeah,
We usually get the listings.
yeah, we do too. If we're deficient, it's not on we're deficient on our at bats.
I'm a little suspicious of the 90% plus close rate, but I would encourage you all to visit that, because I know some of the players in these offices, I'm pretty sure they're getting 90%.
I would say if they get in front of
and I
them,
think that's a tremendous.
I'm with Beth that the issue with most of our team members.
Numbers is getting in front of someone. Once we get in front of somebody, we typically get the listing.
Right, that's why I think that the conversion rate is high, but it's in a way, it's an artificial number because I believe they should have more at bats, and then they might not get them all, but at least, you know, the more times you do something, the better you get. I mean, I still get better every time I do something repetitively. Obviously, I still have a lot to learn, and I've been selling real estate longer than most people in the office.
Yeah, Rob, my numbers,
All right.
you know, we track appointment set, appointment met, and then conversion to assigned. And the only thing I can say is up front, we do a lot more vetting than I got the Google call. Can I make an appointment? We don't do that anymore. We've trained a lot to make sure that we're not running around being the stalking horse for someone that's just checking a mental box and wasn't going to use us in the first place. So we vet that out very early in the process with discussion and some dialogues that we've crafted so that we're not running around with every hopeful call that we get. And we're not, I don't look, it's bad. It's just bad business. So we don't do it.
Okay.
I got a question. Do you guys,
Um,
excuse me, do you guys ask your potential listing client if they're meeting with other agents before you go?
Google
ask
calls,
when I
that's how
get-
I do it. Yeah, Google calls, I do that because I don't go out. I won't even meet them if I know that they had a prior relationship with the agent or they you know it's a friend of the family type thing. I don't even go. 0% win rate historically. They're just checking a box. So there's no sense in wasting my time. I have many other listings I can go to.
No, I'm gonna have to disagree with that one because I've had instances where they were interviewing other agents, even relatives, and they don't go with their relative and they would hire me. And I think the showing them the importance of value and showing them that you know you're an asset to them, and hence they would you know would be more leaning towards hiring you as an agent. But I don't 100% agree with that. I'll still show up.
Yeah, I agree with you. We do the same thing. We don't, if they're saying they're going to meet with another broker, or they have a family member, then it's game on. You know, we go in there and try to kill it.
Yeah, I'll try to outshine that other realtor, whoever is going, you know, and I'd rather take a 50-50 shot of even trying to get the listing itself. I'm not gonna, you know,
Well, we
turn
well, we
away.
use. Yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't turn away either any opportunity. But sometimes if they're going to list it with a family member or a friend, I will say to them, listen, you know, what I just showed you here, obviously you can see that, you know, we are qualified to get this property sold. How about we do this? How about I give your family member a 20 or 25% referral fee when the house sells? Sometimes that convinces them to list it with us. Just another another way of trying to get the listing.
Yeah.
I've done that before. Well, my neighbor next door, I promised her, I'd consider, I'd blah, 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 yeah, sometimes you can just, if you give them, maybe you don't even have to give them 25%. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
done
you
that.
could just mention a referral fee because that usually the sellers don't know how much of that is. So you can, maybe give them 10%, So I'll give them a referral fee, and in this way they'll list with us.
Yeah, I think when we look at how we do it, it's based on opportunity, right? So that single opportunity where I spend 2 hours preparing for a listing appointment, if I spent that on a higher probability, I could probably get 2 or 3 listing appointments for the effort that I spent trying to convince someone. So not every opportunity is for us. It's just the way we operate. And I always hear brilliant examples of like, I got this one and I have 2,
Rob?
but I get much more the other way, which is by spending that time on real movers rather than the one that's the one off.
Rob?
I think we lost them.
We lost Rob again.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I'm a little gun shy because at one time
Yeah, I want that
They're
document.
doing a
I'll
presentation.
use it at the next
Have you
time.
spoke to any other realtors? And they're
Okay.
like, oh, no.
Okay.
And then they wound up doing it.
Yeah, those ones you can't, you disingenuous people you can't get around.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
just,
All right.
we
I'll
evaluate,
fix it.
obviously we track every single appointment and everything that we do to the
Okay.
hilts. And when we evaluated it, we realized that the ones that all said they had a prior relationship and that person was in the heat, the conversion rate was nil. The ones that had family members, we've tried everything from referrals, from showing how low volume it is and how much more we can get. And we got those here and there, but I could go back to my database and make 2 hours of calls and line up 3 listing appointments opposed to the one that I have a very low probability. It's just about time and effort.
Hey, Rob just called. His internet's dead. Who are the two, who's the iPhone and the iPhone 9?
I am. I don't even. I'm possibly one of the iPhones. I think I got.
Yeah.
I bought a new phone. I bought a new phone, so it's Carlos Turner.
Okay, he wants to make sure everybody gets the document.
Yeah, this is Ron Piccolo. I'm on iPhone 9.
Okay. All right. Glenn, I've gone on listing appointments where I thought ahead of time it was going to be a waste of my time. It was kind of far away. I didn't know them at all. And I was right. So I think there's wisdom in what you're saying. At least maybe I should have qualified them on the phone better than I did before I went out there. And when I got out there, I could tell it was a waste of my time. I could tell they were ridiculously wanted to go with overpriced. And they were just looking for somebody to validate their ridiculous assumptions.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
times they'll, the other agent that they want to go with already told them, well, we can get you $50,000 more than market value just to get the listing. They try to buy the listing.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what we use that example is of just being really targeted about
This
where
guy-
to spend our time and effort.
I wouldn't
right?
even show up.
That's the goal.
Like,
You know,
what?
yeah.
Because they're interviewed.
He doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Hi.
Carlos, mute yourself, please.
Huh?
Mute yourself.
One of the things what Rob was saying about like how do you use a listing to get a listing. So what we do is once we get a listing, whoever covers my open house, the requirement is if you want my open house, you have to make 400 calls. That's just dials. It's not necessarily connections of the surrounding neighborhood. And that's an awareness call to just let them know that we're in the neighborhood with a new listing. And if they know anyone, we don't put anyone on the spot asking for a listing. And at that same time, that list goes into a Facebook ad, which basically presents them. We call it the number one in the area agent ad. So basically their emails and phone numbers go into a Facebook ad, which costs practically nothing. And anytime that people go to Facebook, they're going to see us. They're going to know that we're there because we just had a phone call. Now we have that Facebook ad running. And then what we'll do is we'll take that and parlay it into emails and into, basically media that allows them to see us here and there. And then when we put the video up for the home, they're going to see the video because we're constantly kind of surrounding them with it. And we're finding that traction brings you probably we're like 1.8, but it should be bringing us to 2.5. We're just the phone dialogue isn't good enough yet. But for every listing we get, you'll get 2. But that happens on each and every listing that goes out. And then once we get to the point where we're under contract, we make phone calls back to the area saying we have a buyer. Joe and Jill are looking for this same type of home that your neighbor just sold. We've got lots of people that are looking. Do you know anybody that's looking to sell or potentially, upsize, downsize? And then those usually bring 1 or 2 folks just into the mix. They want to know more information. The conversion on those is a bit lower. But we just surround and pounce on listings. We don't do door knocking. I wish we did because we're just higher volume, so we can't spend that kind of time. But door knocking works for sure. I did it.
Is everybody headed to Arizona next month?
Yeah.
What's anybody playing golf? Anybody choose golf as the activity? All right. Yeah, that was a good activity. I definitely picked that one.
I'm doing the haunted one, I guess. I forget what it was. I'm actually heading out to Arizona tomorrow to meet with those teams.
Are you driving there, Glenn, in your RV?
No, I'm coming back from South Carolina from the race.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm flying out there tomorrow, but I'm going to be out there, and I'll see you. I'll see you at the elite retreat, right?
Yes. Next week, San Antonio or Austin.
Yep.
I wonder if we're going to get surrounded by all the Keller Williams people. That's where they're located. They might be out there handing out Kool-Aid.
All right. Well, I guess
And I'll share. Uh, we did some AI training that got really great feedback from some agents about a week ago. I'm having it edited up, and I'll definitely release it out to the Remax selectors once I get that done. But it's very current. It's like ChatGPT 5 and how a day in the life of a realtor. Literally, you can wake up in the morning and follow the video and see how people are really using it effectively. So I'll share that. It's out for everyone now. It's a 300 gigs of content that they're video editing, so it's taking a little bit.
that's fantastic. I can't
Thanks,
wait.
Glenn. All right.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
All right, we'll see you
Thank
all
you.
next week,
Have a good day.
guys.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.